Hey guys, it's Samantha X of Black Nation News, and today I wanted to talk about there's something that I've been hearing a lot about as far as like Nigerians thinking their culture is so much better than Black American culture, and so I just wanted to go in on that and discuss, just really break that down for everybody, because I have heard that Nigerians think they're kind of like snobby, like, well, I'm from Nigeria, they think they're separate from people. But there's some ways I can debunk that and let you know that their culture is definitely not better than Black American culture.
Yes, I am African. To me, saying you're African American, it defines somebody who has generations of their family here, probably starting from being brought over from slavery. Mm-hmm. So I don't say I'm African American. There's no box to check that you're African when you're filling out applications. But we were raised in a certain culture that a lot of African Americans just don't have. Mm-hmm. You know, and I feel like I'm tiptoeing. Guys, don't be offended. Like, just
say it. This is part of this is hopefully to get discussion going.
Yeah, no, I'm very proud of having a culture that has had standards that taught me certain values. You know, some may be outdated, and but just having that sense of, you know, for instance, growing up, I used to have to not bow, but let me see what, like, you're my elder, okay?
I am your elder, and I am your elder, by the way.
I know. I wasn't gonna say pretend. I said you're my elder. So you're my elder. Uh-huh. So as a kid, you walk into the room, and I would greet you like, you know, good evening.
Really?
Yeah, I'm serious. You know, it's just a certain culture that.
Well, I think we should bring that back. I mean, I think that you should come into the room and you should greet me that way.
Not a chance. It's a certain culture that, Jersey, are you playing back and forth? It's a certain culture that just breeds a level of respect for elders, a respect for tradition, a respect for yourself, you know, just mm-hmm. certain things that, and I speak generally, that, you know, he's like, what? Jersey, please don't do that. There's just certain things that I feel like I was raised with that makes me very proud to say that I'm African. So people ask me, I will say I'm not African American, I'm African. He hasn't figured out a zipper yet, so we're good.
Yeah, maybe it's just appreciating where you're from. Like, I'm from the South, and the South can have a reputation of dating back, you know, from the Revolutionary War all the way up to the Civil War, about how, you know, the South obviously had slavery and a lot of other issues that people want to separate itself from, but that was their heritage. Like, I didn't live then. Where I grew up in the South, it was a great place. And, you know,
every time they say their culture is better, they always discuss like how they basically make it seem like they have these better manners than African Americans. And most African Americans I know were raised to respect their elders. We were raised to go to church, be polite, get a good education. Education was always important for a lot of the Black people I know anyway, and work hard to get to where you're trying to go. And I mean, being African American, that's really kind of like a no-brainer, because no one's giving you anything. As we know, the country has built themselves off of. If you think about it, you really have to ask yourself, Nigerians or Black immigrants, why are white people, like Caucasians, whatever you want to call them, the mayonnaise, I call them the mayonnaise and mediocre mayonnaise militia, but you have to think, like, why are they so happy and so okay with giving you these top opportunities, such as going, and I can go into that more, so we're going to go into the next point. The next thing is Nigerian Americans like to bring up how much income they have, like household income, I guess, compared to African Americans. And again, that kind of goes with the whole PWI, going to the little Ivy League institutions. There's not a lot of Nigerians. There's only about 3 million to 4 million compared to like 35 million African Americans. And if you think about it, you really have to ask yourself, Nigerians or Black immigrants, why are white people, like Caucasians, whatever you want to call them, the mayonnaise, I call them the mayonnaise and mediocre mayonnaise militia, but You have to think, like, why are they so happy and so okay with giving you these top opportunities, such as going to their white Ivy League colleges, giving you these prime positions on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, etc. And it's because they're not afraid of you. They know you're a coon. They know you're a sellout, because look at what you did to your country. You came from Nigeria. A lot of you are not trying to go back to Nigeria ever. You guys just run away from your country and go to countries that have already been built up, such as America, which a study just came out to confirm that America is the most powerful country in the world. And that country was built for 400 years. America's only like 500 or 600 years old. So for 400 years, it was being built off the back of my ancestors, not the Africans who don't claim us, the black immigrants who don't want anything to do with us. It was built off of African American slaves who were here. We were dragged here from Africa. So then we became African Americans. When we finally fought for citizenship because we were here doing all the work, we're going to get our status. And now we're going to get our check. So, and our land, etc. So that's like a whole nother thing with Nigerians. It really comes down to people just know, like I know for a fact, now that I really look at it, that is jealousy. I feel like Nigerians really don't, like, they want to have something to sleep well at night. They really don't have a pot to piss in or a leg to stand on. And so they're trying to pull what they can to say, oh, we're better than African Americans or ADOS. Look at us. We have these jobs from white people. Look at us. We go to colleges with white people. And that's basically how they're measuring themselves. Black Americans / ADOS / African Americans / black people, we don't measure ourselves against whites. A lot of stuff that people consider like that's the black culture was actually created by white people to make black people look bad. And now that we have a voice and we can now speak out and we have our own media and our own black media, notice how we put everything black in front of everything, because we're proud to be black, we're proud to be African, and we're proud to be African American, because our ancestors built this country, this wonderful, powerful country. So if all we're trying to do really is get rid of the racists, kick them out, and just continue to build an amazing country that we've built. So, now that we have black media, we can now speak out for ourselves and we can defend ourselves against all the rhetoric. So then that leads me to the next point. My next point. Why do you think, like, if you guys really sit down, black immigrants, Nigerians, whoever else, Costa Ricans, whoever else thinks they're better than black Americans or ADOS, you have to sit down and ask yourself, why do you think the white group of people who are currently running this country, why do you think they make it their duty to crap on black Americans every chance they can? Why do you think they make it their mission to keep us oppressed, like to keep their foot on our neck? And now they're using you guys to do their dirty work. And what do you think they're going to do once they're done with you? Why do you think they make it their duty to crap on black Americans every chance they can? Why do you think they make it their mission to keep us oppressed, like to keep their foot on our neck? And now they're using you guys to do their dirty work. And what do you think they're going to do once they're done with you? You think they love you and they're going to keep you around? That's why you come here, you're marrying white boys, like that one lady with the McClure, the little girls, the McClure twins. She quickly married herself a white guy. She's Nigerian. And she was shitting on African Americans, like, oh, we have a better culture. No, you don't. No, you don't. And the proof is in the pudding. So first, we're going to hit this first point. The reason why white people, period, just can't, or I say white Americans, because that's the only ones I can really speak for, refuse to give black people the reparations that we deserve, is because they know we will annihilate them. Like, we're going to dominate them. And I don't mean kill them off. They probably will die off because they have the recessive genes. But we don't even have to physically murder them. They're just going to die off. Like, if they give us money, we don't care. We won't care about them anymore because we don't care about them now. The only time we really even deal with them is because they have the power right now. And we have to eat. We have to get jobs. We have to have housing. We need the loans for our businesses, etc. So they have shit we need. But what happens when we don't need them anymore? Then what? they already know they're going to become as irrelevant as they are right now to us. I mean, they're going to become even more so. Like, to me personally, like, I could care less if I ever see a white person ever again. I don't see them on a regular basis because I work from home. I'm a business owner. I really don't have any use for them. They don't have, they're just not good at anything. They steal everything from Black Americans, and it's just like all the inventions we've created, our ideas, our music, our clothes, our culture, our style. It's like everything. And that's what's so laughable about Nigerians, because they're sitting here like, oh, Black people don't have any culture. We have a better culture. So that leads me to my next point. If you have such a great culture, Nigerians, and I'm going to point you guys out most because I see you guys the most, trying to act like you have this wonderful culture that I know nothing, I don't see it. Why doesn't it reflect in your country? Because to me, a culture means that's the way you guys are that's just a fabric of how you guys do things. It's like woven into who you are as a people. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. So if your culture is better than African Americans or ADOS, then why doesn't it show in your country? Why is your country so raggedy? Why is it run down? Why is there so much poverty? Why are you guys fighting amongst each other just because you're on different tribes? Igbo against Yoruba. Then you got Boko Haram showing their ass. And then you got your government, who I had a Nigerian state I saw on YouTube say that 90% of the time the politicians are going to pocket money and be corrupt. So what is so wonderful about your culture that you're running away from your own country, never to look back? I don't see anybody I've yet to hear a Nigerian say they can't wait to go back to Nigeria. And in fact, Nigerians by record are the most traveled Africans out of all Africans on that continent. So you guys are running away to non-Black countries pretty much every chance you get. So if Nigerians as a collective, like, we're not talking about individually, you have to bow down when you come in a room with an elder, or you guys, one thing I give you guys, you do love your weddings, you do believe in marriage. That's wonderful. That marriage is a very good thing, but that's about all I can give you. It's like, what else have you done that's so great? Like, if anything, also I hear from other Africans, Nigerians are the most grimy. They're the most cutthroat. They're the most trifling. Like, they always doing some really horrible things to other Africans. Like, just basically trying to get over every chance they get. And we see proof of that here in America when you guys get here, because you're trifling here. I would say that's your culture, being trifling. Because you don't seem to have any loyalty to anyone, not even yourselves, not even each other. Because if you had loyalty, you would get the bag, you would make your money, and you would take it back to Nigeria and build up your own damn country. You wouldn't be coming over to non-Black countries and building up their countries while your country's going to shit. So that's all I wanted to say on that, and I will be continuing to elaborate on this topic because I've just seen one too many Black immigrants saying some dumb shit about ADOS, African Americans, and I'm not here for it. I'm an African American. I'm ADOS. I'm a Black woman from America who's a descendant of American slaves. So what you're not going to do is talk shit about us and just do that with us lying down. Got it? If you don't like African Americans, stop coming here, appropriating our roles, going onto CNN, going into movies, going on television. Issa Rae, what's her friend's name? Yvonne Orji, the dude from Get Out, Idris Elba, what is it, Kareem Olajuwon. I mean, I literally can go on and on, like all the Africans, and I do have an article that I wrote on Medium, but I could go on and on about all the Africans who are appropriating African American culture, like coming over here, pretending you're African American, so you can get these benefits, our reparations that were set aside for us. They weren't set aside for you, Nigerian, because you weren't here building anything. You were in Nigeria, and you said that. You were happy to say you're from Nigeria. You were clear about that. You too, Costa Rica. D. Roy Murdoch. sitting here in 2001 telling us about our reparations. Sit your ass down. What do you have to do with our reparations? Go back to fucking Costa Rica and ask them for reparations. Like, don't worry about our money and what we got going on here while your fake black ass is sitting on C-SPAN looking like a corny ass black dude that I wish like we could just rip the color of your skin off of you because you don't deserve it. And you're sitting here actively working against African Americans, ADOS, about what is due to us. I have so much vitriol towards that dude. Like, I can't even, like, I'm not even